The more of us that are out there speaking in schools, the better. And especially when it comes to pornography, I was shocked to find out how early children are being exposed to it. And even children who do not have screens, they will be told by other children in school what they were exposed to or what they saw. As parents, it's important to be aware because when I grew up, and I'm going to be 51, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have that kind of exposure. Okay. It wasn't until my 20s that the internet came out fully. All right. So I had about 20 years of my life that I lived free of all of that. Our children today are growing with an overwhelming amount of exposure to things that I don't even know how I would process as a child. And not only that, it's being shared amongst children at school. I saw this, I saw that. What'd you think of this? That's what they naturally do because they're children. I don't know how much of that is also talked about in schools in terms of especially going through puberty and boys and how to manage that and how to handle that. But that does affect sleep because the type of the pornography that's out there is not just normal
That's
sex.
shocking, isn't it?
The amount of shock and even trauma that can have on a child, and then they don't have a resource, they feel ashamed, they feel embarrassed, they don't know who to go to or talk to about it. The more we can have these healthy conversations in the school systems and we can have parents talk about these things and what are the kinds of things that can show up for my child that can then lead them to be anxious at night and not sleep well, have hard time falling asleep because they're processing something. Maybe they were bullied at school also. I mean, bullying can be an issue also. There's just so many things that go on that what I've learned so much is the more you can have an open communication and really look at your child. Yes, you have to be a parent. Yes, you have to have boundaries. Yes, you're not their best friend. I get it. You're the leaders, right? You're the leader in your household. I get it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we shut off communication from our child. That doesn't mean that you do as I say, and that's the way we parent. You can still be a very strong leader and have boundaries, and at the same time, have an open communication with your child where they can trust you and feel safe enough around you to talk about some of these things that they
Right.
wouldn't feel ashamed to talk to because they know, okay, my parent has these boundaries and these are the rules, but at the same time, I feel safe enough to go to my mom or dad about this. That's key.
Right. Even though that's a different level of how to deal and process exposure to pornography. That's
Yeah. But
yeah,
it's
that's a very
happening.
scary.
It's
What age did
happening
you
at
say? What age did you say they get exposure?
Let me just look it up because I don't want to give you a wrong statistic. On average, kids are first exposed to pornography online around 12 to 13, with some starting even earlier. 15% saw it by 10. And they're also saying that exposure can begin as early as 9 to 11 years old. And part of that is because kids talk. So if one child's exposed and you know what I mean, then the other tells the other, and then they get curious and then they want to look it up because it's this taboo thing.
That is
So
super scary.
yeah, so that's why they encourage parents to start conversations early around 9 to 11 years old. Anyway, I brought that up because it does matter and it does relate to sleep.
This is very exciting though, because where I live, the mental health, there's a really bad statistics on mental health of youth,
Hmm.
meaning after teenage age or teenage age.
Yes.
And I do believe there are several factors influencing that. Obviously, it's not just one thing.
Yes.
But of course, it's going to be the cyberbullying. It's going to be bullying at school. It's going to be
Right.
all those influences, social media, having exposure, being overstimulated. But that would be so helpful if the kids or people get help in sleep and sleep support so early, so they are aware. Because I know that from my own experience, I had no awareness, and at the time I struggled. I was 15 myself, which was many many years ago. So there was no resources, there was no
Yes,
education at all.
that's right.
So now we do have the information. We just need more people to get the information out there in front
That's
of the
right.
parents, so they can properly support the kids. Because my
That's
parents
right.
possibly couldn't support me because there was no information. But
Hmm.
still, I think there needs to be massive push to
Yes, I
and
agree.
support and grants and support in mental health. Get people like
100%.
us or any other exposure in front of the parents, and here it is, this is the information, this is how we can support each of our child to result in better mental health and better cope with other challenges later on.
Yes.
So yeah, so this is very helpful. Thank you, Mar.
You're very welcome. And I'm very excited for you because of what you're going to be doing with this work and how many people you're going to be influencing in such a transformative and positive way. I'm very excited for you. So I really appreciate the journey that we've had together, and I look forward to more.
Thank you so, so much. And I'm really grateful to be part of this journey and to be coached by you. And yeah, thank you. It's very, very life-changing, I would say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lucy.